Hey, this is Brother Said with Brother Said Speaks. Join me as I interview various people from all walks of life who sit down with Brother Said and discuss various things within society or within their community or within the social construct. Sit back and enjoy. Thank y'all for joining us back again. This is the one and only Mr. Brother Said with Brother Said Speaks. Got a legend, a musical historian, the one and only Mr. Dice Woods from the East End. Mr. Dice, how you doing?
What's up, bro? Everything good, man?
Oh, it's good, man. It's good. It's going, man. Look, briefly, tell us a little bit about yourself. I, I know you into music and you fascinate with different sounds and things of that nature. Tell the society a little bit more about yourself.
My name is Derek Woods, also known as Dice Woods. I grew up right here in the East End of Meridian. Later moved to Memphis, grew up there on the east side of Memphis, Hickory Hill. And music has been a big part of my life, man. You know, everybody know I DJ. I got almost 30 years in the game now.
Wow.
And I just love music. I consider myself one of the last soul children.
What does that mean, the soul
Um,
child, being
I
a
was
soul child?
I was born with soul. I was born in the middle of it, 1976.
Oh,
March 23rd, 1976.
so,
I was born in the middle of all this soul that
yeah.
was happening.
That was during the disco era, wasn't it? Or that's in the middle of the
Well,
disco era?
yeah, you had disco around, but soul was the main category at that time. It later, I was
Mm-hmm.
working in the music store when it changed to R&B. I
Mm-hmm.
remember taking the tags out, changing all the soul. And there's a reason that this system did that, in my
Mm.
opinion. Um, because soul is something that couldn't necessarily be copied. You know,
Really?
you had other groups that tried it,
Okay.
but we had soul. You know, of course, James Brown would tell you,
Yeah.
I know you got soul. If you didn't,
Yeah.
you wouldn't be in here.
Yeah.
But it was changed, and so a lot of it has changed within the music to make us
Mhm.
get to the point where we are now. I say what we're doing right now is not really our music. You know.
The reason okay, let me say this. I grew up in the 80s and in the 90s. And as I gotten older, I did not know that, let's say, some of the iconic figures of the names, uh, Dr. Dre.
Mhm.
I, to years later, I didn't realize how he sampled so many artists that came before him, the music.
Yeah.
What was his famous song that he brought out? Even I think the
You
Chronic.
talking about nothing but a G
No,
thing?
nothing but a G thing.
Leon Haywood, I want to do something freaky
Yeah,
deaky. That's where
exactly,
that came from. Yeah.
exactly. I who else? The rapper that's pretty famous now, Little Bootsy.
Uh-huh.
Okay, he gets his name from
Yeah,
Bootsy
you had
Collins.
Boosie
So
Collins.
it's a lot of times it's nothing really new under the sun.
Right.
Um, and like I say, it's so many other music. What's the Tupac?
Hmm.
Um, California Love.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
I thought that was just something that not to say that he didn't come up with it, but he was inspired by other people, other artists that came
Yeah.
before him.
Yeah, you had
Yeah,
Zap and Roger and them who were like the basis of that sound that
yeah,
Dr. Dre used. And the first people I remember doing anything about California would have been, well, Bobby Womack had California Dreaming. That's a
yeah,
song I
yeah,
remember by Bobby Womack. But you also had Frankie Beverly and Mays. They had a song called Look at California.
yeah,
So a lot of people have been inspired by California to
yeah.
make a song
And
about
and and I was I think I was in ninth grade, but Notorious B.I.G.
it. Hmm.
His first song that he dropped, well, his first song that
Made it
made
big.
him big,
Hmm. Big
Juicy.
Papa. Oh, Juicy. Okay.
Juicy.
Okay. Yeah.
Come on,
Yeah.
like I said, that comes
Yeah.
from
M. Toomey.
yes,
M. Toomey. Juicy Fruit. That's where that came from. Then, of course, he went on to do Big Papa, which was the Isley Brothers, Between the Sheets.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
It's another one. What did he do with Total? He did a
Um,
song with. Is
can't
it One
you?
More Chance?
He did one more
Which
chance.
uses DeBarge's
Yeah.
Dream.
Yeah. See,
Mhm.
I didn't even know that.
Or Stay With Me. It's one of those two. Let me
Stay.
get
Yeah.
that right.
And,
Yeah.
and and see, you think you know so much, and then you come to find out you realize how little that you know.
Yeah.
Uh, who else? It was another artist I was listening to. Master P. It was Master P song. I think he did. What was it? I think it's there heaven. Is there heaven for a gangster?
Mm-hmm.
I think he may have sampled that from Barry White's one of Barry White's old songs.
Okay. I would
Is
have
that
to hear it. If I
yeah
heard it, I
yeah
know exactly
I
where it
believe
came
that
from.
and with the song I remember it's Silk did people always talking about you're a hustler,
Mm-hmm.
and so that comes from I don't know the group name, but I think it was three ladies from the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Is it people always talking about reputation?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's on the tip of my
I
tongue.
have to hear it.
Yeah,
Once I hear it, I would know where
yeah.
it come from.
But the thing of it is, so much that we listen to now, like I said, is inspired by people of the past. Music is something that inspires our community. Do you think music now inspires us in a positive way? Do you think it's more so a negative or kind of like a combination of both?
It's going to be according to what you listen to.
Okay.
For me, it's positive
Mhm.
because I choose what I want to listen to.
Okay.
Not saying that other people don't, but a lot of people don't know when they're being programmed.
Mm-hmm.
So, for instance, you turn on the radio station and the only thing you listen to is the radio. You're basically listening to their programming. That could be good or
Yeah.
bad according to what
Yeah.
station you listen to, what kind of music they play. For me, man, it's an array of music. I'm listening to something different every day, but it's from the old school for the most part because that's what keeps me level headed. Like I was saying earlier, our music has changed, and my opinion is it's not really our music.
Yeah.
You know, so it's according to what you
Okay.
choose. What I see happening with these youngsters, um, they're being programmed in a negative way.
Yeah.
And some of them don't even know about the history we're probably going to get into before
Yeah.
this interview is over.
Yeah. Let's say some artists of the past. Let's say when they just talk about intimacy, they do it in a charismatic way where you be like, okay, well, this sounds good. Like I say, the rhythm sounds good, the beat. 2024, you got artists, let's say within the urban community who produce music or whatever. They're so explicit, I want to go and do this and I want to blah blah blah. The baseline thing of it is still intimacy. That's what both of them are talking about it, but it's like now it's just done in such a negative way. Like that's it. It's like it's such hardcore. In actuality, they still talking about the same things being intimate. But let's say artists of the past just did it in a smoother, more laid back, like I say, charismatic way.
Yeah, I think that with that, um, when you was asking about how music affects us,
Mm.
I think that part has affected us negatively,
Yeah,
especially our community,
yeah,
because we don't necessarily know how to love anymore.
yeah. It's about getting
people-
straight to it.
Yeah, it's straight to it,
to
and
the
you can be
action.
just as sexy.
Yeah.
And I believe it creates more intimacy
Yeah.
when you learn how to say something in a quote unquote romantic way.
Yeah.
That's not just outright.
Yeah.
Straight to
Yeah,
the point.
because it's like now I want you on your knees.
Yeah,
That's it. And so, but the thing of it is, when I was growing up, man, I love music. Music was like therapy for me.
Mhm.
Going to schools, dealing with different folks and just let's say some of the taunting and bullying. The music was like my shield. It was like my spinach, like for as Popeye. I would go home, like say, listen to my music, it would build me up, man. It was
Yeah.
just something about music.
Yeah.
I always try to tell people when I offer like some type of therapeutic suggestions, I tell people listen to some good music. Go out, meditate on a sunny day, and just do some deep breathing, man, and listen to your music. Some good music with some good vibes. Now, don't be listening to all this stuff talking about I'm gonna go upside your head,
Well,
you know.
they're
But
not taking your advice because what you see.
yeah, I know, right?
Really, in all honesty, that's what has affected our community. If you talk about what has poisoned our community, part of that with this being, Black History Month, but everything's supposed to be Black History all the
Yeah,
time. With
absolutely.
us.
Yeah.
It comes from not knowing the history. So therefore, we're just going along with the program, and the program is poison.
Yeah.
The poison is given to us through the music,
Yes.
because that music doesn't promote love, and we have so many different music. I mean, you got
Yeah.
soul, jazz,
Exactly.
R&B. You got gospel, of course, when you're going into that area. But with all that music that we have today, we basically see people as a majority listening to one thing over and over again. It's the same repetition
Same
stuff.
repetition. Yeah.
And so that's why when I DJ, I don't really play a lot of that new stuff.
Yeah.
I'm old school,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
people
I
hire me
know.
for that,
Yeah.
and they get their money's worth.
Yes.
They can always remember the party and say, "Man, I enjoyed that."
I think it was 85. You remember Too Short? Too Short, along with NWA now coming out. All right. Too Short had the song. I remember, is it Life Is Too Short?
Life is.
And the ghetto. Man,
Yeah,
just
that was
listening to them
later on.
songs. Look, them songs, but it kind of rubbed me like to be more mindful of things, more conscious of things back then. But I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
Uh,
But it had that feeling.
Yeah.
Like what you're saying, it had that feeling. I think the correct time for that would have been 86, 87.
Yes.
When you start getting into NWA, and
Yeah.
then 88 is when Too Short, Life Is Too
Right.
Short kind of really blew up. It might have came out in 87 and branched over.
Yeah.
But the vibes from that, and this is how we get into the history of it, the vibes from that came from good vibes. So when you talk about Life Is Too Short, you're talking about the average white band, Schoolboy Crush. That's the music behind that.
Okay, see, I did
Feel
not.
good music.
I did not know
music.
that.
Yeah.
I did
When
not
you
know
talk
that.
about the ghetto, you're talking about Donny Hathaway, whose song was called "The Ghetto" as well.
No, I cannot believe that. You mean to tell me it was a?
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
it's-
You hadn't heard it?
I haven't heard it.
Bro, you got to hear it. And then here's another piece to Too Short when he did The Ghetto. The original version of The Ghetto, that if you bought the tape, I think later on they took it off.
Mhm.
It had a piece by the Black Poets at the end
I
called
remember that.
Die.
Yeah,
Nigga,
Die. Yes, I
Are you
remember that.
censored or uncensored? Can I say? Okay,
No,
so
we
it
don't
had
wanna say it.
a
Yeah.
piece called Die
Yeah.
Nigga Die,
Yeah.
which was at the end, and I remember it very well from being a teenager listening
Yes.
to it. And it simply said, black folks watch Mega Evers die.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just named out all these people, and then at the end they all chanted and said, "Die nigga." So black folks can take over.
Yeah.
And we're still dealing with that problem
Yeah.
to this day.
I heard the last part of that song, that version, when I was in, it might have been 05.
Mhm.
I think I just finished undergrad. But I listened to it. I didn't know that part was on that song because when I was younger, I never heard of it. I always just used to listen to the radio.
From the radio,
version.
yeah.
But I never knew that part was on there. I was like, I did not know this. I was listening to. I had downloaded. I was like, what is this? I did not know that was on there.
Yeah, later versions of that CD and cassette.
Yeah, I did not know that.
That was not a part of it because I spent years trying to find it on CD. I still have my original cassette. But they took it off for some reason. Could have been copyright. Could have been something with the record company. You never know.
Oh, and this is what I want to point. Those two songs, it made me feel like more of a, like I got to do something to change my environment, whatever.
Right.
But later on, next time I listened to a song by Mr. Too Short, it was somebody was riding through the projects, and I was just like, listen to the explicit lyrics, like such and such get on your knees, dude. I was just like, hold up now. And it did something to me because first I was listening to you talking about the ghetto and life is too short, so I'm listening to these positive aspects.
Right.
But then next thing I know, I'm listening to you, and really for the remainder, it was like a lot of like explicit lyrics, a lot of negativity, and I was just like, wow,
Well, he started that way.
Yeah.
If you know about his underground tapes and what came before he got to that point, he started with that. Even though those albums, Life is Too Short, and the other one is called Short Dogs in the House.
Yes.
He had those lyrics always.
Okay.
He had a song called Cuss Words. Very interesting. You can listen to it. But it shows the difference in back then versus now. Life is Too Short, very conscious song.
Yeah.
You listen to it, very uplifting. Again, it goes back to the old school, has those vibes. The other one you mentioned with NWA, their first big song that I remember was, the first one I heard was Dope Man. This guy stayed across the street from me named Ernest Stewart. Everybody remember him from 15th Avenue. And he came back from California with that album. And Dope Man was taken from Funky Worm by the Ohio Players.
Wow.
So I invite you, anybody else, go listen to Funky Worm.
Definitely.
And that is the basis of what they call that West Coast sound.
That West Coast sound. Yes, y'all definitely got to check that. Yeah, well, I guess the brothers out west definitely know about that.
Yeah.
Who are some of your favorite artists now? Or
that's out now?
Well, let's go back then. Let's list probably one or two from back then, then one or two now, and then we'll
now. Man, unless you're going into eras like the jazz or whatnot, I really don't listen to the quote unquote new music because again, everything is so repetitious. I don't want it to take away from what I've been filled with, which is soul. Came in with soul, still have soul, and so I protect that soul by being careful of what I let go in here. Yes. This right here is an entrance.
Yes.
And people don't realize that with both of them. That's an entrance. And so you have to be careful what you let feed into your mind. You can go to sleep with Love and Hip Hop or one of these shows where they got a lot of drama. And that'll be feeding into your subconscious while you sleep. So
Absolutely.
So as far as the new up-to-date stuff, I don't really have anything. As far as old. Yes, sir.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Do you know, I really started to hang out with y'all back in, I think it was after I finished college. You used to tell me about David Ruffin. Who's David Ruffin?
I mean, you gonna ask me that? David Ruffin, David Ruffin, hometown hero as I look at it. From right here in Meridian, Mississippi, of course, that comes from Why Not, and then later on into Collinsville. His family
Yeah,
is
that's
from both
east
of
of
those different
Meridian,
places.
y'all.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you know, if you go to a bigger city,
City,
you're just
it's
looking
the
at the
same.
outskirts.
Yeah,
It's still
absolutely.
Meridian. They
Yeah.
come to our hospitals,
So,
blah blah
exactly.
blah. So yeah, he's from here,
Yeah.
man. One of my favorite artists had a dynamic range, man. Could go low, could go
Low,
high. Could go low, could go high. Could just really do his
man.
thing, man.
Do you know I was listening to some David Ruffin song. What was the song? I did not know that. I don't know who did it first, him or the Jackson Five. I Want You Back. I did not know David Ruffin did a version of that.
Yeah, yeah. I believe David did it later.
Okay.
Jackson 5. I
Did
think
they?
Willie Hutch might have been one of the producers on that.
Mhm.
They came out first, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Then later on, because I think that was one of their first breakout hits. Matter of fact, I have the original.
Oh, let's let the world see. Let us see. Wow.
That right there.
Wow. Let me zoom in on that.
Diana Ross presents Jackson 5.
Wow.
Let me say that again. So
Say it again. Say it again.
Diana Ross presents the Jackson 5. And let me see if it's on here. Yeah, it's on here.
It is?
It's on here. Yep, it's on here. That was their breakout hit, if I'm not mistaken. A lot of people think it's ABC, but I think it was this one, man. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
they did it first, yeah.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
What are some other things you got? I see you, cause you like a collector. You collect a lot of stuff, kind of like me. Like I collect as a historian. I collect a lot of things that might, strike my interest or might be historically significant.
Yeah, I got it, man. You name it, I got it.
I wanted you to touch on, and we're gonna kind of wrap this up. And we definitely got to have you come back, so you can elaborate, man.
Yeah.
Look,
you just getting started, man.
Oh, well, look, we getting.
Okay.
What was it the summer? Was the soul of the summer? If I'm mistaken.
You talking about the concert?
Yes.
Summer of Soul.
Summer of Soul. Yes.
Yeah. It was like the Black Woodstock.
Stop.
And man, you had everybody on there. David was on there.
Really?
David
I did not
Ruffin,
know that.
Mahalia Jackson. You name it, man. The people were there. That concert, as they say, was kind of lost for a long time. I think is it Questlove from The Roots? I think he's the one to put that together and put it back out there.
They just did that documentary. That's been like what, 3 years ago or 2 years ago? Yeah, a couple years ago. I gotta see it. I still gotta see it.
Oh man, you gotta see it. And then from that, I mean, you end up having Soul Power. Let me see.
See, you got it. See, we got it right here.
Let me see here. You end up having. Let me tell you about all of these. Okay, so from there, you had Soul Power.
Wow.
This right here, might not have heard of it.
Never heard of it.
Had Bill Withers, James Brown, B.B. King, the Spinners. I think they did this in somewhere in Africa.
Really?
Soul Power. Muhammad Ali was a part of that.
No.
Yeah. Real good stuff.
See.
And then from there, you had, let me see, I believe, Watt Stacks, which was also like another Woodstock.
I remember you used to mention, I think I heard you mention Watt Stacks some years ago, but I never got a chance to look at it.
Man, you gotta look at it. Good stuff. Rufus Thomas, his backup band, which of course was Confunction. Later on, they were named Confunction. You had Jesse Jackson, Isaac Hayes.
Wow.
Come out, and they reveal that bald head. You just have to look at this. The Staple Singers, the Barcades.
Oh man,
strong concert here, man. Strong.
And
concert.
Watts, so that will be out in L.A., right? Watts,
yeah,
Watts Towers.
Yeah,
Watts,
and I believe this was the concert after they had those famous Watts riots.
The Watts riots. Okay.
Yeah. So it was part of.
I saw the Watts Towers years ago.
There also was another one, and this was Soul to Soul. This is where they went to another part of Africa and did a
Wow.
benefit concert with Wilson Pickett and Les McCann, who just passed. This is stuff.
And 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 I ain't mean to cut you off, but I'm a historian.
Uh,
I went to school to
okay.
study. I study history and I study documents and I do a lot of reading and go to the facts and go to the sources. But and I feel like so in such a type of way because this is stuff that I should know.
Yeah.
You know, so we never know it all. We never. Yeah.
Well,
You know.
you can't know it all.
Yeah.
I'm still learning.
Yeah.
But the reason why you don't know is by design. I hate
Yeah.
to get into conspiracy theories,
Yeah.
but there's no coincidence between us not really being into our own music these days
Mhm.
and you not knowing.
Yeah.
All this is by design, in my opinion.
Okay.
Because if these children, for instance, knew who they were
Mm-hmm.
and they could build a solid, connected dots line
Yeah.
from where they are to where we are today, man, we have a much better community.
Yeah.
Because again, this is the stuff that you feed your soul.
So,
Yeah.
absolutely. I was at the Max, the Arts and Entertainment Center,
Okay.
and they got a guitar exhibit, and you should go check it out if you ever get a chance. Anybody who's listening, go get a chance to check it out.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw the one and only. It was something by Jimi Hendrix.
Okay.
And I saw him, and I was just thinking, I was just looking at was it at the was it Woodstock that he performed the Star? Yeah.
Woodstock.
Yeah. So it's amazing. See, for me, I'm like I said, I love just learning, but it's a great exhibit, and I just thought about all the stuff that the history and a lot of things that I should know, and so. Look, I'm like a kid again. It's like I got to learn.
Yeah,
I got to.
I'm gonna go check that out.
Go check it out.
So they have his guitars down there. Is what you're saying?
They got some attire by him.
Some attire. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Jimi Hendrix springs from the Isley Brothers.
See, I did not know that.
Yeah. He was with the Isley Brothers first. Then he ended up being this big cat. So if you listen to Ernie Isley, who's an excellent guitar player, you're gonna hear a lot of Jimi Hendrix influence, and I would even say with them living together, they might have influenced each other. Who knows?
Yes.
But I know Ernie is one of the younger brothers, so he probably was more or less influenced by Jimi Hendrix.
Last thing, and you have to come back and like I said, we got to chop it up again. It is.
Did you get my shirt,
I was just finna
MTV?
mention. Look,
Yeah.
you have to be an '80s baby to know about that.
To know what this
that
was.
means.
I don't even know if it's still around anymore, but when it was
With that-
when I was growing up, late 80s, early
Late
90s, MTV was the thing that you would
Yeah.
run home so
go
you and your
see-
friends could
to
sit
watch.
down and see, man. What was it? Yo MTV Raps.
Yo,
That was the
MTV
main
rap,
thing
Dr.
you
Dre and
ran
Ed
home
Lover.
to see you and your friends, and you would sit there, you stay glued to that
That man,
TV.
I'll stay glued
And
to
again,
it.
so here we go. I hate to be a conspiracy theorist, but let me say this. You won't find that anywhere. And that's part of our history. That's part of our musical history. So let's just look at what's happening with that. There's a gap where to this day our children don't really know what MTV or Your MTV Raps was about. Because had they been allowed to see that, they would know what they need to pattern themselves after. But
Yes.
because they have no history of how rap used to be for us, see, when rap was out, when we was listening to it, man, it was exciting. But you had so many different fashions of it, and nobody sounded alike. That was called biting.
Yes,
And you
biting.
don't want to
You
get
don't
caught
wanna
biting. It discredited you.
Yes.
So yeah, now, we'll go deeper into
Yeah,
that.
we'll go deeper. What was the song? I'm just so fascinated. we all in the same game.
Mm-hmm.
West Coast was West Coast All Stars.
West Coast All Star.
They did that. That was the equivalent of the East Coast self destruction.
Self destruction. Now you didn't know this. I got
Look, self destruction, man. You talking about, man? That was my.
This is what you're talking about.
Oh man, ain't there's no way. I know they got. I
got it, bro.
That's priceless.
I got it. I got it. This
My-
was great stuff. But yes, the West Coast came along later and put their differences aside to create We're All in the Same Game.
And it seems like it's we in this day and age, and then this is so many facets is that we still seeing self-destruction within our community. We still need a we all in the same game approach.
We do.
Because we so divisive, with our community so divided.
Yeah. Again, when I talk about the poison that seeped in, the poison seeped in my opinion, through the music.
And I love music. I'm addicted to music.
Me too. Yeah.
I
So
love
it seeped in through the music.
Just like I sweets.
When you don't realize something is happening to you, you don't look for it. You don't even know to look for it. So that's what happened with the music. So even now, I see parents who are bumping Poison in their cars with little babies in the back seat. That's feeding into their brain. Not only is it damaging their hearing because you're bumping so loud, your trunk is rattling, but you're also feeding them with negativity. And so what you're in essence doing is cutting off your future, because your future is through your children, you know. And so it's not too far gone that we can't get it back, but it starts with education. Stuff like what you're doing. It starts with us being able to go back and find stuff. I grab stuff like this for him.
Man, that was so emotional, man. That's MC Lyte.
I know
Heavy D.
If we leave it up to the system, this will disappear.
Man, I still bump that to this day. I still bump my 80s music, my 80s rap. Like I say, man, KRS-One.
All of that.
Man.
I invite anybody to listen to the song called You Must Learn by BDP. Listen to it. It's Black History Month.
Yes.
But like I say, Black history should be all the time with Black people.
Yes, absolutely.
So listen to You Must Learn. You'll be thoroughly impressed by the knowledge in that song alone, you know. And if you see the video, it's even better. I explain a little bit of it to you because there's a classroom. KRS-One is in there teaching. The blackboard, as they call it. And of course, the police and things come in to throw him out because he's teaching knowledge to these students. And but go look at the video, man.
I definitely will. So, tell the community a song that inspires you or that you are heavily inspired by.
There's a song that's in my head almost every day. I learned it when I was 14 years old.
Wow.
I was working at Pop Tunes Records in Memphis. That was my first job.
Okay.
There's a song by Donny Hathaway that I live by to this day, and it's called "Someday We'll All Be Free." The words to the song are "Hang on to the world as it spins around. Just don't let the spin get you down. Things are moving fast. Hold on tight and you will last. Keep your self-respect and your manly pride. Keep yourself in gear. Keep your stride. Never mind your fears. Brighter days will soon be here. Take it from me, someday we'll all be free." Verse 2 says, keep on walking tall. Hold your head up high. Lay your dreams right up to the sky. Sing your great song. And you'll keep moving on. Take it from me, someday we'll all be free.
Okay.
So those words are with me every day.
Really?
I find them coming in the back of my head. So that's why,
impressive.
For you to see how that song is relevant, when he says, hang on to the world as it spins around, as things change, I didn't change. Some things have to change. You can't keep using rotary dial
Yeah,
phones when
yeah,
everything's
yeah,
cell phones
yeah,
now. So that's not
absolutely.
what I'm saying. But just because everybody's going out and getting a tattoo, don't mean I gotta
Yeah,
print up my body. Doesn't mean
exactly.
nothing. I'm not knocking people who do that. But what
Yeah,
I'm saying is a lot of people got caught up in the way of the world. So just because everybody's smoking don't mean you have to smoke. So you have a choice. I believe in being free.
yes.
If you're truly free,
Mm-hmm.
prove that you're truly free
Mm-hmm.
by conducting yourself that way, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm free to walk around with my pants up.
Yes,
I'm free to walk
absolutely.
around and listen to anything I want to listen to, and not be ashamed of it. You know what I mean? I'm not preaching, but I'm just trying to
Yeah,
say
yeah.
that it's all about someday we'll all be free. That's why that song is always in my head.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Now look, probably have to listen to that.
I
You
invite
me take
everybody to
look,
listen to it,
look,
man.
speaking of songs,
Mhm.
you know, I told you I always ask you to play this song, let you guess which one it is.
Okay.
Shaka Khan,
Mm-hmm.
a song that I remember when I first existed on this plane.
It's gonna be one or two.
I always
When you say when you first
well,
existed, meaning when you first got here.
well when I think I was like 4. I think
What
that's
year were
something.
you born, bro?
I was out 79.
79.
So that song I heard, I think I was maybe 4 or 5 years old.
It was either gonna be if it's
Shaka Khan.
79, it's either gonna be Ain't Nobody or
It's another one.
I Feel For You.
That's it.
Okay.
That's
All right.
it.
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
that's one of my favorite songs of all time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah, that
With
song.
Melly Mel.
Yeah, that
And
song.
you know, Stevie Wonder, I believe, had a part in that song.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he might have produced it.
Yeah.
Or wrote it. Yeah.
Cause what was the movie Cooley High?
Yeah.
You remember
my
at the
favorite
beginning
movie.
of they was playing a song by Stevie Wonder.
Yeah. Everybody say yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and
live.
and some of that I think is in I Feel For You.
Mm-hmm.
Don't she say yeah, say yeah, yeah, mm-hmm.
Cool
Yeah.
High, favorite movie.
Yeah.
Man, something else people gotta learn
Yeah.
about. Yeah, if you don't know it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cool High was man, I love that.
And the soundtrack to that movie, very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at all the songs and where they were placed within the movie,
Mm-hmm.
man, I'm talking about perfect. And everybody remembers the ending of the movie when Coach Cheese got killed and they're at the gravesite and you hear it's so hard to say goodbye.
Yeah.
Which of course Boys and Men
came along and
did. So yeah, man, our existence to a certain extent is wrapped up in the music.
In the music.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I say, I love the music.
Yeah, man.
It's phenomenal. It keeps me grounded, it keeps me anchored, man. Yeah. But definitely appreciate this, man. I love the information. I love the knowledge.
Yes, sir.
Brother Dice,
yes, sir.
do you, if somebody wanted to reach out to you, I don't know, do you are you on social media or let's say if I wanted to reach out to you, somebody wanted to reach out to you and get some information, man. Is it possible?
Well,
I know you it's hard to get up with Brother Dice. Like
man, I'm doing so many things.
Man, it's hard.
I really don't. I have Facebook.
Yeah.
And I'm on it when I'm on it.
Okay.
It's on all the time because it's at home on the desktop, so it's always on. But
because you
a lot of times I'm not on there, and I am hard to catch up with on purpose.
Yeah, you're a hard brother to get up with, man.
But I don't know, man. I guess we could always put something together. And,
Absolutely.
If somebody know me and want somebody to holler, then I'll do it that way.
Yeah, look, but I'm fortunate to have known you for many years and to know you, to have people who have this excessive amount of knowledge. Like I say, I love information. I really do appreciate you coming through, man. Stopping through what brother said. You got to come back. You know, don't let this be your first time. Come back and share some more of this great information.
I'll do that.
Any last words you got to the community?
Oh, man, just keep the soul. I said no,
Yeah.
man, but yeah, I meant yes. Keep the soul, man. Just keep your soul. And if you don't have it and you don't know what I'm talking about, find it. Reference this video and go
Yeah.
back and listen to some of that stuff. Find out what you're missing, because if you're truly free in your mind, then you should be free enough to cut off the radio and what they're trying to program you with, and find out some stuff that you don't know about. If you don't know about what I just had, self-destruction.
Self-destruction.
If you don't know about self-destruction, let me do this. If you don't know about David Ruffin, if you don't know about the Isley brothers, Grover Washington Jr.
Self-destruction, man.
If you don't know about stuff like that, and that's just a tip of the iceberg of what you can get into. If you've never heard it, it's new to you. Yeah. So it is the new music. Anything you don't know is fresh information.
It's new.
So a lot of people look at that and say, "Oh, that's old. I won't get into it." It's new to you if you ain't never heard it.
You never heard.
Yeah. So that's it.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Oh man, I really enjoyed this. All right, peace out, y'all. Stick around. Brother said we be interviewing somebody else pretty soon. Keep everything as our mentor used to say, keep it in the short grass.
Yeah.
All right.
Shout out to Truth Master.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.